Hotep, I am the Amen Osiris, the one and only undisputed God of law. We are Deception Stoppers, America's only 4D education service. I'm not a lawyer. This is not a law firm. We don't advocate you don't support your human offspring. We simply advocate you made them in private, take care of them in private. And gentlemen, today what I'm going to do is, again, it's time to put heads to bed. If you have not waged war on the 4D crime family, then you must enjoy being a slave. I've been doing this for a long time. Gentlemen, the information that we have provided you, literally means that you should not have a 4D issue in your life. All right, so how did you get involved with Title 4D? Title 4D, which you commonly refer to, is the Child Support Enforcement Program, okay? It is a federal program. It is not a state program, all right? It operates in every state through an alone, detached, and disconnected organizational unit. Look up the word organizational unit. All right, and today what I'm going to prove to you is if you did not apply for Title 4D services, you should not have a 4D issue. All right, Title 4D is a federal program, which means you must apply for it or you have to enroll in the program. All right, to prove this, we're going to go to Grants to States, Section 403, 42 USC 603A grants. We're going to go to Section 5C. Triple I think they're triple I's, okay? And let's see where we at. All right, there's Section C. All right, and I'm going to try to get it positioned here properly. All right, so right here, if you look at it, it clearly states, in the case of a non-custodial parent who becomes what? Enrolled in the project on or after the date of the enactment of this clause, the non-custodial parent is in compliance with the terms of an oral or written personal responsibility contract entered into among the non-custodial parent and the entity. Okay, let's see. I'm going to skip that. The agency is responsible for administering the state plan under Part D, which was developed into taking into account the employment and child support status of the non-custodial parent, which was entered into, yada, 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 90 days after the non-custodial parent, there it is again, enrolled in the project. And at minimum, include the following. So, gentlemen, when did you enroll in the 4D program? When did you provide or sign or agree to an oral or written personal responsibility contract? Okay. Now, I've seen a lot of guys use this, so show me the contract, this and that. All right, the key word I'm focusing on is enroll, because you'll notice it's in here twice. Look, the non-custodial, in the case of non-custodial parent who becomes enrolled in the project, look, then after the non-custodial parent was enrolled in the project. When did you enroll? Let's look it up. Okay, let's see here. Black's Law, my favorite creature. Okay, look, let's go here. Enroll, to register, to make a record, to enter on the rolls of a court, to transcribe. When did you do this, gentlemen, in order for you to partake in the 4D program? All right. Now, if you enrolled, there must be enrollment records, all the testimony and exhibits tending to establish age, wearing evidence before the commission, yada, yada, yada. In other words, when did you enroll? Let's see some of these records. Okay. All right, let's go back. You'll notice it also clearly, and I mean clearly, states what? The non-custodial parent was enrolled. Anytime you read in any federal statute, gentlemen, you will not see the word man. You will only see the word non-custodial parent or obligor. Let's go back to the Bible. So the non-custodial parent is what? It is an ens legis, Latin, a creature of law, an artificial being as contrast with the natural person. Applied to corporations, considered as deriving their existence entirely from the law. And guess what? The non-custodial parent is an ens legis because it derives its existence totally from Title 4D, which of course is not law. So again, when did you enroll in the project? And when did you succeed to the status of non-custodial parent? All right. So furthermore, at minimum, it says at minimum, it must, these things, in other words, all this enrollment and these personal responsibility contracts include these things. Go down to Section A. A commitment by the non-custodial parent to cooperate at the earliest opportunity in the establishment of paternity of the minor child. Why? Okay, I'm glad you asked that question. Let's go to the Federal Manual of Child Support. Okay, look, paternity establishment is required for obtaining a child support order. Without paternity established, there's no legal claim on a father's income. I love how they write this. It says children don't have a legal claim. No, the 4D crime family doesn't have a legal claim. Because why? There is no father. Look up the word father. Father is created by an instrument. All right, let's go back. Where we at? All right, so it needs a voluntary acknowledgement of paternity, and for those of you who signed it, you can disestablish paternity by having your name removed off that form, which will also make them remove the name off the birth certificate. All right, if you want to go that route, I'll show you how to do it. It's very easy. All right, letter B, a commitment by the non-custodial parent to cooperate in the payment of child support. What law says you have to cooperate with anybody? All right. They need a commitment from a ens litis, non-custodial parent, which may include modification of an existing order to take into account the ability of the non-custodial parent to pay such support and participation in the project. There it is again. All right. Participation by a state in the 4D program, gentlemen, is 100% voluntary. Okay. Let's see. Right here, Wehunt versus Ledbetter. All right. Although state participation in the Social Security Act itself is mandatory, participation by a state in the program is voluntary. If it's voluntary for the state, gentlemen, all right, the state is your servant. The servant can't have more power over the master. That means, under equal protection of the law, it's also voluntary for you to participate. Stop volunteering. Section CC. A commitment by the non-custodial parent, here it is again, to participate in employment or related activities that will enable the non-custodial parent to make regular child support payments. And if the non-custodial parent has not attained 20 years of age, such as irrelevant. All right. So they need a commitment from the non-custodial parent to work. Why? Okay. Let's go to, I think it's page 31 of the Federal Manual. Nope. Let's see. Enforcing, I think it might be 36. Hold on. 32, 33, I think it's 36, 35. There it is. Collecting child support. Why do they need a commitment from the non-custodial parent to work? All right, because the most important collection is wage withholding. If the non-custodial parent don't work, they can't collect wages from it. Okay. Notice I said it. Section D, a description of services to be provided under this paragraph and a commitment by the non-custodial parent, here it is again, to participate in such services that are designed to assist the non-custodial parent obtain and retain employment, increase earnings, and enhance the financial and emotional contributions to the well-being of a minor child. You know, this is a lie. When is the last time you ever been, a man has ever been summoned to a 4D hearing for, sir, you failed to support your child emotionally. We're going to hold you in contempt of court and give you 6 months. Right. They don't care about no emotional support. They care about their money. Okay. So Title 4D, in order for you to have enrolled in the program, okay, in order for you to become a non-custodial parent who has enrolled in the project, all right, it requires commitments, cooperation, and more commitments. All right, participation. So commitments, cooperation, and participation. According to this, it requires an enrollment. So where's the enrollment form? Now, how do you know you have to enroll? Let's go. I'm going to use the New Jersey Child Support Hearing Officer Programs Operations Manual. Gentlemen, I mastered this book about, 25, 30 years ago. It's been around a long time. This was one of the first books I mastered. Then I mastered the Federal Manual of Child Support. This is how I destroyed New Jersey at their own game. Easy, like taking candy from a baby. All right, so first what we're going to do is we're going to go to page 18. And before I do that, you know what? Let's go here. I'm going to show you, before I go here, A federal program. This is the Federal Compliance Manual and definitions, okay? Program, generally an organization's set of activities directed towards a common purpose or goal that an agency undertakes, which means to contract, or proposes to carry out its responsibilities. Because the term has many uses, in practice, it does not have a well-defined standard meaning in the legislative process. Legislative, not executive. It is used to describe an agency's mission, functions, activities, services, projects, and processes. All right, Title 4D program. Okay, let's go back to the New Jersey Bible. If I can find it. Okay, so it is child support. Oh, let me zoom in a little bit. Program is federally operated and funded. It's a program and it operates in the state. All right, we're going to go to page 30. Okay. Application for child support services. Check it out. The family division staff must inform the party of his or her rights to file for a 4D child support services and what those services offer. If the party requests 4D child support services, the family division staff must ensure completion of a 4D application to the extent possible and proof the fee is paid. Gentlemen, there's a $35 application fee to apply for child support. Do you remember paying that? Okay. Also, the application fee is their fifth stream of money. So if you go to New Jersey or any other state and you find out how many women are on child support, let's say maybe 1.5 million, you can pick a number. All right. And you multiply that by that million, that's $35 million in their pocket alone. That's all profit for these guys. Okay. They have 5 major streams of profit. All right. Application fees. You also have annual user fees. They got fees for everything. So if they're charging 1 million people $10 a year, that's an additional $10 million. These people are making money hand over foot, gentlemen. Okay. Both 4D application and recipient showing payment must be kept on court file, and a copy is provided to the probation child support enforcement unit after deposition of the case. So these are the people you need to be asking. Well, it says here an application has to be on file. Let me see the one I signed. Okay. You cannot get any federal benefits, I hate saying that word, or any federal services or state services for that matter, without an application. Now, in most cases, some places don't have an application fee, others do. Child support happens to have one. Okay, this is how they make some of their money. So if it's kept on file at the enforcement unit, you need to be finding out, again, gentlemen, well, this is a federal service, is it not? Okay, well, you have to enroll in the program. You have to have these commitments. All right, you have to voluntarily participate. Where's all this information? Where's this personal responsibility contract? Where's this commitment? Where's the application? Where, more importantly, let me see the enrollment form that I signed to enroll in this. All right, and here's your proof. All right, we have here, this is what? This is for New Jersey welfare, TANF, okay? This is an application. If a woman or a man wants welfare, you don't start getting it. All right. You have to apply for it. Okay. You have to apply for it. And if you read these documents, I mean, these are all federal, they're all federal documents in the name of the state, but all that money's coming from the Fed. It's controlled by the Fed. Okay. But you have to apply for it. If you want to go on disability, Social Security, whatever, you have to apply for it. The government just doesn't give stuff away without an application. All right. If you want something from the government, you must beg them. That's what apply means, to beg. Okay. You can't just get, all right. So all of a sudden you wake up in the morning and you got, what do they call them? Welfare cards, EBT card. You get one in the mail and there's $20,000 on it to buy food. All right. Just imagine. If you didn't have to apply for it, that means everybody would have it. Okay. But those who need it, apply for it. So that's for welfare. Let's look at child support. All right. Look, you have to apply for Title 4D services. Any individual can apply for the available child support services. The application is used to process support under the child support program. Okay, so if this application is used to process support, when did you fill this out? Before we can help you collect support or provide you with the appropriate service for you and your children, you should read the program information on the following pages. You must complete and sign the child support application, child support case information form. All right, so if you must, it is mandatory. When did you fill out an application, fellas? When did you fill one out? Okay, you never did. All right, if you scroll down, look, we'll scroll down, we'll get out all this, but what does it require? Look, applicant's signature, applicant's name. Show me the money, okay? So this is the enrollment form for the program. Now, one of the other ones New Jersey uses is a certificate of parentage. This is also an enrollment form. A marriage license is also an enrollment form in the 4D program, gentlemen. You just don't realize it yet. When you get that divorce, that license, all right, is the enrollment for you to be thrown under the bus in child support. Certificate of parentage. All right, this is the document that they bring in right after the birth of the child. It's called that magic moment. All right, and they call it the magic moment. Oh, man, it's a boy, it's a girl. You're handing out cigars, like they creep on in with that clipboard and say, sir, sign this? Sure. Doesn't read it, okay? This is also an enrollment form. This is consent to participate in the project. But here's the catch. Certificate of parentage. This is from, of course, our friends in New Jersey. You pricks, you know I'm going to shut you down, okay? But more important, all right, we're going to go down here. What does it mean if you sign this form? Remember, participation in the 4D program, gentlemen, is voluntary. Look, signing this form is voluntary. However, since signing this form has legal consequences, you may want to consult with an attorney before you sign. Well, gee, all the federal acts that are in Title 4D were approved by the American Bar Association. Now you want to go and ask the Bar Association for help? Are you serious? You got a problem, okay? Parents who are married to each other do not need to sign this form because paternity is already established. Marriage license, gentlemen. Marriage license is default paternity. Bet you the clerk of the court didn't tell you this. Now, since this form has, signing this form has legal consequences, all right, what are the legal consequences? All right, let's look here. Okay, these are the legal consequences of Title IV, of signing that form. You know, the driver's license suspension, liens, bank accounts, all that shit. Those are the legal consequences. Does Title 4D tell you that? When did they tell you that before you signed that document? No, you did not. No, they did not. Okay. You can disestablish paternity on the basis of fraud. Here's one from Pennsylvania. All right. Rights and responsibilities and obligations. All right. The parents are required to provide support and health care coverage until the child is 18. Once you sign that document, gentlemen, you've enrolled in the project. Okay. By signing this form, you give up rights. Okay. When did you enroll in the 4D program, gentlemen? When did you voluntarily say, hey, I'm going to participate in this? When did you go into a personal responsibility contract? These are questions that need to be answered. If Title 4D is a governmental service, you have to, the only way you can get a service like this is you have to apply for it. So when women apply for welfare, I mean, do you get any of the money? No, you don't. Unless they're sharing their EBT card with you. That's what it's called, EBT card. Okay? These things need to be questioned. So what you have, if they cannot produce any of these things, all right, then this, my friends, is basically what this boils down to is involuntary servitude. All right, so you got violation of the Fourth Amendment, illegal searches and seizures because they find your job. They're constantly running your private information. Okay, you got Fifth Amendment, they're taking money, all right, without due compensation. You got 13th Amendment, involuntary servitude. All right, if the 4D contractor says, oh, I'm going to put you under a seek work order, all right, in order to pay the 4D crime family so they can profit, all right, that's involuntary servitude, gentlemen. All right, if they're garnishing your wages, that is involuntary servitude. Okay, under the case closure criteria, All right. 45 CFR 303. Point 11, section 12, it clearly states that you can close a case. All right, a non-recipient of welfare can close a case and forgive the arrears. That means a lady can close a case and a man can't. All right, that's gender biasness and it's discrimination, and that's a violation of the 14th Amendment, which is denial of equal protection of the laws. All right, gentlemen, child support should have been shut down. You should have been shut this garbage down. If you've been watching my videos for years and have not employed any of these techniques, all right, you're going to stay a slave. And until you declare war on these criminals, all right, they're just going to keep raping you and raping you and raping you. Okay? You need to be active and be demanding some things from some people is what you need to be doing. And more importantly, all right, you can use the case closure criteria. Remember, we don't reinvent the wheel here. We take their information and you use it against them. All right, you have to be researching their information, every nook, every cranny. Gentlemen, I can show you 20 billion loopholes under the Title 4D program and its federal regulations. I can show you how to shut down any case. I've already done it. You just ain't doing it yet. You write one letter, right? Tell them I want the case closed under Section 12, and if you don't, I comply with these federal regulations, then I'm going to bring a legal action against you. 10 business days, that's 2 weeks. All right. At that time, when you mail out that document, all right, at the same time, you need to be creating your lawsuit. That way, when they ignore you, all right, and just blow you off, now, of course, you want to get that notarized and send it by certified mail. When you get the green 3811 card back, sign. The date that card is signed is the 10-day countdown. No weekends, no holidays. Monday through Friday. It's 10 business days, which basically makes it 2 weeks. On day 11, you should be in federal court filing your lawsuit. You'll be hiring a process server to serve the crime boss, which I guarantee you, they won't ignore that one. You'll get their attention then. And then I'll show you how to sue them where they don't get any immunity. All right, because they are participating as a private person. Let's see if I got it up here. I think I do. Oh, let me see here. All right, check this out. Consent to enforcement. And I'm going to cut through. All right, so anybody who partakes in 4D program shall be subject in like manner and to the same extent as if the United States or the District of Columbia were a private person to withholding in accordance to state law enacted, yada, yada, yada. All right. And to any other legal process brought by a state agency. There is no state agency. It's an agency in the state administering the program. All right. So they consent to be a private person. What is a private person? The term private person means a person who does not have sovereign or other special immunity or privilege, which causes the person not to be subject to legal process. You can sue them, gentlemen. They don't get immunity. All right, look, this goes for the crime boss, the 4D contract, the judge, the sheriff, all of them. Consent requirements applicable to a private person with respect to notice to withhold income, all right, or any other order or process to enforce support obligations, all right. Each governmental entity shall be subject to the same requirements as would apply if the entity were a private person. All right, and look, here it is again. I'll show it to you. All right, let's see. I-4, private person. A person who does not have sovereign or other special immunity or privilege, which causes the person not to be subject to legal process. Gentlemen, I'm done. All right, you got an issue, stop by 4dterminator.com. Down there, you can schedule a class. Just send me an email, and we'll get you a Zoom consultation, or we'll get you a 4D basic training with all the weapons that you need. All right, gentlemen, it's time to stop simping. All right, they have nothing. They are no one. You have them. They are yours. All right, 4D can stop the day. And again, take care of your kids. I'm not saying not to, but you don't need a third-party intermeddling, officious intermeddling of an agency that's not even a state agency or its contractors. I'm the Amun Osiris, gentlemen. You have your assignment. I'm done here. All right, and you should be too. If I don't start seeing your lawsuits online, then you must love being slaves. Talk to you soon. Hotep.